The annual Martinez family reunion was in full swing when I pulled up in my old Toyota Camry. Through the mansion's ornate gates, I could see the usual parade of luxury vehicles, Bentleys, Maseratis, and enough German engineering to start a small dealership. My cousin Diego's Ferrari was front and center, of course. He always needed to be the center of attention. Isabella. Tia Carmen's voice carried across the driveway. Mi amor, you actually came. And in that same car. I smiled, smoothing down my simple black dress, Chanel, though they'd never recognize it without obvious logos. Hello, Tia. Traffic was terrible on the highway. My cousin Victoria emerged from the house, champagne in hand. Darling, that's what helicopters are for. Oh wait. She smirked. Those are a bit out of your price range, aren't they? If only she knew about the fleet of private aircraft I had at my disposal. But that wasn't part of today's plan. Inside the mansion, the annual display of wealth was in full force. Uncle Roberto showing off his new Rolex collection. Cousin Maria bragging about her third vacation home. And of course, Diego holding court about his latest, successful investment venture. Bella, he called out as I entered. Come here, prima. I was just telling everyone about my new tech startup. You should invest. Oh wait, you're still working at that little company, aren't you? That little company was Martinez Global Ventures, one of the largest private equity firms in the country. They just didn't know I owned it. The family thought I was a mid-level manager somewhere, barely making ends meet. How is work? Tia Carmen asked, her voice dripping with concern. Still, what is it you do again? Investment management, I said simply, accepting a glass of champagne. Right, Diego laughed. Processing paperwork for real investors like me. You know, if you'd accepted Dad's offer to join the family business. I took a sip of champagne to hide my smile. The family business, a chain of luxury car dealerships, had been one of my firm's acquisitions last year. They still didn't know their new parent company was mine. My phone buzzed, a text from my assistant Jennifer. Emergency meeting scheduled. Board wants to discuss the Thompson acquisition. Helicopter standing by. I texted back, perfect timing. Make it dramatic. Victoria peered over my shoulder. Emergency at work? Don't tell me they need you to file more papers on a Saturday. Something like that, I said, checking my watch. Almost time. Diego launched into another story about his startup's potential, while Maria showed off pictures of her new yacht. I stood quietly, letting their mockery and condescension wash over me. Then I heard the distinctive sound of helicopter blades approaching. Who on earth? Tia Carmen hurried to the window. The sleek black helicopter, one of my favorites from the company fleet, was landing on the vast lawn. Jennifer stepped out, impeccable in her designer suit, tablet in hand. My phone rang right on cue. Excuse me, I said to my gathered family. I need to take this. As I walked toward the door, Jennifer's voice carried clearly across the suddenly quiet room. Ms. Martinez? Your helicopter is ready. The board is waiting. Sometimes timing really is everything. I turned back to see their shocked faces, enjoying the moment when their carefully constructed narrative about their poor cousin began to crack. But this was just the beginning. They had no idea what was coming next. After all, the best part of being underestimated is choosing exactly when to reveal your true power. A helicopter? Diego's voice cracked as he followed me onto the lawn. Since when do you have access to private aircraft? I finished for him, enjoying the way his face flushed. Oh, for quite a while now. Jennifer approached with my portfolio. The board papers are ready for your review, Ms. Martinez. And Mr. Thompson is particularly eager to discuss the terms of the acquisition. Thompson? Maria practically choked. As in Thompson Luxury Motors? I smiled, remembering how she'd mocked my Camry just hours earlier. The very same. We're acquiring their entire chain of dealerships. But that's our biggest competitor. Diego protested. Dad's been trying to buy them out for years. I know, I said simply. Your father's offers were inadequate. The family had gathered on the lawn now, watching as Jennifer's team loaded my briefcase and laptop into the helicopter. The Martinez family crest was clearly visible on the aircraft's tail, though this version had my company's subtle modifications. Isabella. Tia Carmen stepped forward, her earlier condescension replaced with calculating interest. Why didn't you tell us you were so successful? You never asked, I replied. Too busy assuming I was failing because I didn't follow the family path. Victoria clutched her champagne glass tighter. But, what exactly do you do? Jennifer answered before I could. Ms. Martinez is the founder and CEO of Martinez Global Ventures. The MGV? Diego's face went pale. The same MGV that bought out half the luxury car market last year. The same MGV that now owns your family dealerships? I added. Yes, that's the one. The silence was delicious. You own our company? Uncle Roberto finally managed. Technically, yes. I checked my watch. And in about an hour I'll own Thompson's too. Quite a productive Saturday, wouldn't you say? Maria stepped forward, her yacht photos forgotten. But you drive a Camry. Because it's practical, I said. Though I do have a rather nice collection of vehicles. You might have sold some of them to me actually. Through the dealerships I own. The helicopter blades began to spin up. Jennifer held the door open, the perfect picture of professional efficiency. This is impossible, Diego muttered. You were nothing, just a girl who built a multi-billion-dollar company while you were all bragging about your startups and vacation homes? I smiled. Funny how that worked out. Tia Carmen made one last attempt. Bella, mi amor, you should have told us. Family should know these things. Family should support each other, I corrected her. Not mock someone for driving a practical car or choosing their own path. The wind from the helicopter blades whipped around us, causing Victoria to stumble in her expensive heels. I stood firm, years of helicopter exits having taught me exactly how to maintain my poise. Ms. Martinez, Jennifer called over the noise. The board is waiting. I turned to my family one last time. Enjoy the rest of the reunion. When Diego? About your startup. My acquisition team will be in touch. We might be interested in buying it. At the right price, of course. His face cycled through shock, hope, and fear in rapid succession. As I climbed into the helicopter, I heard Tia Carmen's voice. Bella, what about dinner? We were going to discuss the family's future. I couldn't help but laugh. The family's future had been in my hands for over a year. They just hadn't known it. Jennifer, I said as we lifted off, make sure they get the full quarterly report on Monday. It's time they learned exactly who they've been underestimating. Below us, my family stood frozen on the lawn, watching their poor cousin soar away in her private helicopter. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just proving them wrong, it's becoming their boss without them even knowing it. Monday morning arrived with delicious chaos. The quarterly report had been delivered to every member of the Martinez family, revealing not just my ownership of their dealerships, but the full scope of my empire. I sat in my penthouse office watching the security feed as my relatives arrived one by one in the MGV lobby, all demanding to see me. Ms. Martinez, Jennifer's voice came through the intercom, your Uncle Roberto is quite insistent. He's showing everyone his Rolex collection and demanding family privilege. Let them wait, I said, reviewing the Thompson acquisition papers. Family privilege died the day they mocked my Camry. My phone buzzed with texts. Diego, Prima, about my startup, can we talk? Maria, that yacht I showed you? It's for sale. Victoria, darling, I always knew you were special. I ignored them all, instead pulling up the security footage from the lobby. The scene was priceless, my entire family, dressed in their flashiest designer clothes, trying to impress the receptionist who made more in bonuses than their combined net worth. Finally, I decided to end their suspense. Jennifer, bring them up. All of them. Minutes later, my office filled with the same relatives who dismissed me just 2 days ago. Their faces showed varying degrees of shock as they took in my corner office with its sweeping city views and helicopter pad. Bella, Tia Carmen started, why didn't you tell us? Tell you what? I leaned back in my chair. That the cousin you called poor owns the largest private equity firm in the region? That your successful family business has been mine for over a year? Or that while you were all showing off your luxury cars, I was buying the companies that sold them? We didn't know, Diego protested weakly. Exactly, I said. You didn't know because you never bothered to ask. Too busy bragging about your startup that, by the way, is hemorrhaging money. He flinched. But family should share their success. Victoria interjected. Like you shared your mockery? I stood up, walking to the window. Every family reunion, every holiday, every gathering, you all made sure to remind me how I was failing. How my choices were wrong. How I should have joined the family business. I turned back to face them. Well, I did join the family business. I bought it. Uncle Roberto stepped forward, his Rolex glinting. Isabelita, let's discuss this reasonably. Perhaps a family council. The time for family councils is past. I cut him off. Check your new contracts. MGV has complete control. Your roles are advisory at best. You can't do this, Maria exclaimed. Jennifer chose that moment to enter with perfect timing. Ms. Martinez, the Thompson board has accepted our final offer. You now own controlling interest in both luxury car chains. I smiled at my stunned relatives. Actually, I can do whatever I want. Funny how money works that way. Isn't that what you all taught me? What do you want? Tia Carmen asked quietly. What I've always wanted: respect. Recognition. But you all were too busy looking at my Camry to see my success. I pressed a button and the office windows turned transparent, revealing my private helicopter fleet on the rooftop landing pad. Each aircraft bore the modified Martinez family crest, my version, the one that represented real success, not just flashy displays of wealth. Now, I continued, shall we discuss the new family hierarchy? I believe there have been some adjustments to consider. Diego sank into a chair. The startup pitch I gave at the reunion was awful, I finished. But MGV might consider investing, after a complete restructuring and new management team, of course. And the dealerships? Uncle Roberto asked. Will continue operating under proper management, not family nepotism. I walked to my desk, pressing the intercom. Jennifer, please bring in the new organizational charts. As my assistant distributed the documents, I watched my family's faces shift from shock to understanding. The Martinez empire hadn't fallen, it had simply changed hands. Their poor cousin in the Camry had become their boss, their owner, their superior. Welcome to the new Martinez Global Ventures, I said, sitting back down. Where success is measured by merit, not by the car you drive or the watch you wear. The helicopter pad outside began to light up as evening fell, each aircraft a reminder of how far I'd come while they weren't watching. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just showing up to the reunion in a helicopter, it's owning the company that owns their companies. And sometimes family needs to learn that true success doesn't need to show off. It just needs to show up at the right moment.